Now that I briefly introduce you to the main subject of our MOOC, I'm going to show you the European Daily's impact on your life and its considerable influence on virtually all facets of the member states' economies and courses of action. Decisions taken in Brussels, Euro's capital, increasingly affect all of us, and this regardless of where you live. Today, working, shopping, traveling, eating, drinking, and even breathing are all activities largely governed by the European Union and no longer by the individual states. Let's take a quiz together. Which among the following policies belongs exclusively to the European Union? Education, tax, trade, social policy. The right answer is trade. Indeed, the European Union is based on attributed power, what is generally called the principle of conferral. In simple words, this means that the European Union competencies are the ones and only the ones voluntarily conferred on it by the member states. We can say that the European Union has received a mandate by the member states. We will see in the next lectures that this mandate, the degree of such competencies, varies depending on the policy area. Trade, for example, is an exclusive competence. The member states have decided that in this field only the European Union can legislate on behalf of all of them. But this is not the case for education, where the European Union can only take supportive actions, such as the Erasmus program. Some other competencies are shared, meaning that the member states can legislate only then the European Union has not. Now that you know that the European Union can only act insofar as it has received competence from the member states, how can we determine who is competent to exercise the so-called shared competencies, those who appeared in the middle? The principle of subsidiarity gives an answer to this question by providing that in the policy areas whose competence is shared with the member states, the EU can only act where action of individual states is insufficient. The default rule, in other words, is therefore member states' competence. But who controls the respect of both the principle of competence and that of subsidiarity? Well, the national parliaments and, inevitably, the European Court of Justice. Despite the European efforts to improve people's life, many incorrect statements and interpretations circulate, and most catchphrases have little to do with reality. One of the aims of this course is to debunk some of the common myths and provide some useful information and references so that you can understand why the European Union matters.